BJP MP Kangana Ranaut has stirred a controversy by suggesting that the farmers' protest could have led to a Bangladesh-like situation if strong measures were not taken by the government. The Mandi MP also blamed vested interests and foreign powers for the continuation of the protests even after the laws were rolled back. Both BJP and Congress have condemned these statements that were made by her. And of course, Kangana has taken on the farmers' protests once again. Joining us at this point, Savio Rodriguez, leader of the BJP. We also have Piyush Pant, political analyst, live with us. Raj Lakshmi Joshi, political analyst, is joining us live. Kevin Matthew Sunny, political analyst, is also live on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you, Savio Rodriguez. Clearly, of course, opposition parties targeting your party after these statements made by Kangana Ranaut.
Well, Kangana, in her wisdom, is allowed to share her point of view. And the party, in its wisdom, has disagreed with her point of view. But let me tell you what I think personally, as somebody who has been investigating the role of foreign interference as far as Indian stability is concerned. And let me say it outright. The Bangladesh coup, and I've the Bangladesh coup that happened is actually a CIA orchestrated act that was done primarily to unseat the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And now they've got what I term as a CIA puppet in Muhammad Yunus in Bangladesh. But that is a problem of Bangladesh. How are they trying to do something similar in India? Well, if you look at certain aspects of what happened during the Shaheen Bagh, you look at it during the farmer protest, you will realize that advertisements that were put in CIA publications like Washington Post and New York Times were funded by questionable organizations with links directly to enemies of India. So I agree with a point, and I believe, because our investigations have thrown that up, and we put it out on Goa Chronicle as well, that yes, there is a probability of all foreign interferences to destabilize India and to destabilize the current Indian dispensation. Has it happened? The answer is we are strong, and such an act, what's happened in Bangladesh, has a long way to go before it happens in India, because the Indians are not driven by Islamic radicalism. Islamic radicalism is at the root of the problem in Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina was very, very strong as far as crushing Islamic radicalism is concerned. And that is why she was ousted, primarily because of the role of Jamaat Islamiyah and other people with vested interests. Is the US, the CIA, and certain other people working in India? They certainly are. And that is what they're going to do. They're going to want to have India in a corner. But has it been during the farmers' protest? Was it a part of Shaheen Bagh? The evidences are for all to see. So Kangana is not wrong in her assumptions. But what she is wrong is that these are views for people who are authorized to speak about it and not Kangana. And that is why the party has looked at it in that light.
Okay, let me get in Kevin Matthew Sunny as well for his take. Kevin Matthew Sunny, the BJP distancing itself from Kangana Ranaut, saying these are her individual statements. She's not authorized to put forward the party view. But interestingly, Savio Rodriguez saying that the larger issue that she's addressing is correct and needs to perhaps be talked about.
No, it needs to be investigated.
Savio initially claimed to have done his own investigation. So maybe what confounds me is that with the BJP in power, I'm really appreciative of the BJP for distancing themselves from Kangana's statements. The MP has a habit of making, false statements, whatever comes to her mind. But I'm quite appalled and confirmed by Savio. When Savio says that he has investigated and he has found out, he first said that he has investigated and he has already found. So why is it, if that is true, Savio, my question to you is, why is your party, who is in power, who has all the investigative agencies under you, hiding it? Why are you brushing it under the table?
Let me explain it to you, Kevin. You've raised a very important question, and I appreciate the fact that you've raised it. So look at the farmer protest from 2 points. A, the farmer protest that was genuinely of the genuine farmers that were there and came forward with a concern. which is what the government was looking at addressing. However,
addressed by your leader's son driving an SUV into the protest.
One second, let me complete, Kevin. You asked me a question, allow me to complete.
Yep.
So the first part of the farmer protest was a genuine concern which they were looking at being addressed. The second part of the farmer protest, which still continues, I don't know if you're aware, but a couple of days ago, somebody very important from the US linked to the CIA met up with the farmers, farm leaders in India. There are people from the CIA also meeting up with people that are concerned with elections at this point of time in the states. Is the BJP aware of it? Yes, the BJP is aware of it. Are we supposed to come out and say, okay, the CIA, the US government is interfering in our elections right now? The answer is no, until you have credible evidence to prove that. As far as the farmer protest is concerned, please go back to the facts of the farmer protest. That yes, it started as a genuine protest till it was hijacked by people who were looking at anarchy as far as India is concerned. Look at the suggestions that they had. Look at what the government did as far as addressing it, and how much have they backtracked. Finally, the farmer.
So Savio, then my question to you is: has these people whom you claim are from CIA, from US intelligence agencies, have they been detained or questioned? That's the first question. Or is it that the BJP government is genuflecting to the US authorities?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if officially the government is blaming the US for this or not. But yes, there have been theories that have been floating, and Savio is, of course, talking on them. I'll come back to your debate in just a second, because I need to get in the others. They haven't spoken at all. Radhakshmi Joshi, come in here. Do you believe Kangana Ranaut was out of line making this statement on the farmers' protest once again? She has spoken on the issue earlier too. Or do you believe that the wider argument raised by her is correct?
Very firstly, a very Shubh Janmashtami to all your viewers, Uday, and to you also. Now, coming to this question on hand, just let me tell you, let me address this in two parts. Okay, now there are certain issues that Kangana Ranaut spoke about. And yes, she is definitely somebody who speaks of, she does speak offhand a lot of times. And now, right now, what she is doing is she is promoting her film. So, there were a lot of things that she spoke about, and amongst them, she spoke about the Bangladesh riots that are happening, the violence that is happening, the way in which the government was overthrown. And she said that, she drew parallels to the farm protest. Now, is she wrong in saying that there were similar attempts in our country as well? No, because there was definitely a lot of incidents where, see, if you look at the farm protest, especially, you remember what happened on the 26th of January, and the kind of scenes that we saw, that was definitely something very concerning. So that there was definitely an attempt by one section of people. So out of this entire population of our country, if say maybe 50,000 or 1 lakh people converge at the borders and at the borders of the state, and then they come into Delhi and they try to hijack the entire place, I think that is definitely something concerning. So that is not the way in which governments are run. That is not the way in which a country is run. So she is right in pointing out that there something similar was being tried in our country as well. And she also spoke about what actually was appalling to a lot of people was that she spoke about how there were corpses hanging and that there were rapes happening. Now let me tell you that there were a huge number of losses. The Confederation of All India Traders, they have actually estimated that there were just between the first 3 months, it was a loss of 60,000 crores. There were definitely some rapes happening, there were some murders, but then the way in which, now coming to the second part of what I wanted to say is, Uday, in some things about what she has raised, the concerns were right. But let me tell you that the way in which she has put it across, it kind of indicates as if, all the farmers who were protesting, or all farmers in general, were indulging in rapes and murders, and it shows them in really bad light. So this is a very sensitive situation. This is a very sensitive matter. And definitely the BJP would not like somebody to speak offhand on it. See, there is a way in which all political parties handle their communication. They, somebody cannot just go offhand and speak about something on national media and, express their views. Now, for example, I am speaking in my personal opinion. So whatever I am saying is definitely not, probably not the political party's line. So now when the BJP spokesperson comes and speaks about it, they know exactly what are the points that they should be talking about, and especially about the farm laws and the policies, what went right, what went wrong, and why it was taken back, etc. So they are very right in saying that Miss Kangana Ranaut is not authorized and she is not permitted to speak on these issues as well. So, these matters should have been, maybe if she did feel concerned about it, she could have maybe elaborated a little more, the way in which Savio has put across, the way in which I was telling you that there was some concerning incidents, but the way in which he put it, it kind of put questions on the farmers. So when you speak about farmers, in general, you're not talking about the separatist elements, you're not talking about the Khalistani elements who were actually some vested interest, who had a role in instigating some of the farmers there. I'm saying some of them. So they have actually created all the big trouble. Now there was definitely some concerns which are being looked into, but then what happened is there were some very sensitive issues which were definitely blown out of proportion, whether it was during the CA rights, whether it was during the farm laws protests, and whether it was during the hijab issue. So all these sensitive issues, they should not be taken up in a very light manner and spoken about, while promoting a movie with it. So there definitely has to be a line drawn between what has to be spoken on a political forum and what should be spoken about on a promotional podcast, maybe. So this, I think, is something that the BJP has distanced themselves from and said that we do not agree with everything that she has spoken about. So, I think that she definitely should refrain from speaking about some complicated issues in the future. And though she is not completely wrong, but she was wrong in actually speaking about things out of line. So that, I think, is something that is the issue here, Uday.
Yes. Okay. Let me, in fact, quickly take that to Piyush Pant as well. Piyush Pant, what's your take on the matter? What do you make of Kangana's statement, and of course the kind of reactions that have followed as well? Obviously, there are polls coming up in Haryana as well. In Haryana too, the farmers, the Kisan make up a large part of the demographic, which is why opposition parties have seized on this issue, given the fact that Kangana is now a BJP MP. The BJP distancing itself, but is that enough?
Well, who is Kangana Ranaut? Whose statement we are discussing this now? What is her local assistant diet? He is simply an MP of BJP. And such serious allegations, if she makes such allegations, it should have been backed by the party or some official of the party or the Prime Minister. But now the BJP has disowned her statement. So it clearly shows that the BJP or the BJP government at the center did not and does not agree with the allegations, whether it was of the US forces, some foreign forces, or of that they were murderers and they were rapists, all these things. Never, the government had made, or the BJP quarters had made allegations of Khalistani, calling them Naxalites and Khalistani, all sorts of things, because some Khalistani, pro-Khalistani elements were also sitting in the dharna, not the farmers. They were there because later we had found one leader of that Khalistani group who had put a flag on the Red Fort, and he was later found to be very close to the BJP. And finally, he was murdered. So this was the picture. So simply putting allegations and labeling it as the foreign forces were there, because no government never likes people to take up their issues and agitate against the government. Whether it is NDA or UPA, the government in the power never likes people to be democratically express themselves. This has been happening all over the world. We have seen it. This also happened in Bangladesh. Bangladesh had a very serious issue, but the government over there did not listen to the students over there. Instead of the government keep on, harassing them, keep on taking harsh action on them, muzzling their voice, and then, allowing police to fire on them. So all these things led to what happened. The other forces, the forces who are not pro-democratic, they jumped into that movement and they just misled them, and ultimately they threw Hasina over from the power. And this is what happens, So the farmers cannot be blamed. If Kangana Ranaut makes such an allegation, it is highly objectionable. Because what proof does she have? And already the BJP has disowned her statement. It clearly shows. Even the BJP leader, or Punjab BJP leader, he has criticized Kangana Ranaut. He said he has got no right to issue such statements. And BJP looks after the interests of the farmers, and moreover, the Haryana election are around the corner. And already BJP, the reports are that the BJP is going to lose Haryana election heavily. And now Kangana Ranaut has made things worse for the BJP. And I think she might prove Manishankar Iyer of the BJP.
I think Savio Rodriguez wants to respond to you, and you can also address the points that Radlakshmi and Kevin Sunny made earlier.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Now, at the end of the day, any investigation that is done by us independently as media owners and entrepreneurs ourselves, it is up to the government to take those legitimate investigations to a logical conclusion. Where is Kangana Ranaut wrong? Kangana Ranaut is wrong because she is not voicing her personal opinion as a member of parliament. She is voicing her opinion representing the BJP as a member of parliament. And therefore, whatever she says in an interview as a member of parliament becomes a reflection of what the party stand is. And the party stand, let me tell you, is that the protest was about the farmers. And yes, the farmer protest was hijacked by certain elements, but eventually the outcome of it was the cancellation of the farm laws. And therefore, when you look at a protest, when you look at how when I mean foreign elements, I'm talking about people who are not a part of the protest, but jump into the protest at this point of time to create and flare up the situation. And that's exactly what you're seeing happening world over. It's not only a phenomenon in India or Bangladesh. The point is this. The point is today, are we as a nation facing probable attacks from people on the outside to destabilize as a country that is growing economically? The answer is yes. We can't be blind to that fact. Is it necessary for the US to want us make us a vassal state? The answer is yes. They do want to make us a vassal state. They do have a problem with us having an equal relationship with Russia and China, and we can't deny that. But the most important thing for us is to solve the problems that our people have within the country. So today, the farmers have an issue. We deal with the farmers' problem. We understand that there is going to be elements that will join protest and turn it violent or take it in a different direction. That's exactly what happened with the farmers' protest, which is why in the interest of the farmers, in the interest of the people who were burdened by the farmers' protest, Prime Minister Narendra Modi decided to withdraw the farm laws, which were in fact better for the farmers, but they thought otherwise.
It didn't happen with the farmers. I dispute this fact. It didn't happen with the farmers' agitation. Though government tried to color it like that, tried to say that it is in the hands of the Naxalite, it is in the hands of Khalistanis, it is in the hands of the militants. But it was not a fact.
No,
most of the farmers,
let's not deny.
They were genuine farmers. They were genuine farmers.
The farmers' protest was hijacked.
800 farmers sacrificed their lives. 800 farmers sacrificed their lives. They kept on sitting over there for their legitimate demands. And the government, it was the government.
Beyond the point, because the demands after some time get colored.
Tried to undermine their movement, trying to undermine their demands. Because
not the farmer. I'm
Government
talking
didn't
about
want to concede to their demand.
I'm not talking about the genuine concerns of the farmers, Mr. Pant.
So
You and I
most of
both
them,
know
most of them,
that there
most
were
of them were
different
genuine.
elements
Most
that
of
did
them were genuine.
hijack that protest and take
So,
it in a
sir,
wrong direction.
so
Let's not be blind.
Savio, my question to you still stands. If you know, if you and he and everybody knows, why aren't these people taken to task? Why aren't investigative agencies? So your governments kept a 90-year-old man who couldn't have his food in jail and he perished in jail. So why is
What
it
makes
that
you think that we are not working on it, Kevin? What makes you think we are not? Should we tell you what our strategies of geopolitical work against intelligence agencies are? Can you not see what we are doing? Let's take an example of Fiocana. Let's take an example of Fiocana. Fiocana is a US-based organization which is the Federation of Indian American Christians of North America. In 2016, the Narendra Modi government put it under suspension because of questionable acts that they are. Have you ever seen their website? Have you seen their 2023 report? They talk about over 1,700.
So when I'm asking you about,
Kevin Matthews,
why are you doing
get your
what
facts
about
correct. Get your facts correct. I'm not in.
Sir, you get your facts correct.
I'm giving
Savio,
you facts.
you get your
I'm giving you facts.
Savio,
You don't want facts.
When I'm talking about apples, when I'm talking to you about apples, why are you talking about
and
elephants?
funded organization was banned by India. So our diplomacy and our intelligence and our work is done in a manner to deal with it systematically, not to go out like the Congress had off. So please.
Savio, I have been asking you. So when I'm asking you about apples,
I'm
no
telling
point in
you,
talking
you
to me
asked
about
me what
elephants.
are they doing. I told you they banned.
Not banning up. See, you ban TikTok.
Okay, let me get in Radhalakshmi Joshi. Let me get in Radhalakshmi Joshi. Radhalakshmi Joshi, Savio Rodriguez maintains that the farmers' protest was hijacked. Piyush Pant says it was a legitimate protest. Don't color it otherwise. Radhalakshmi Joshi.
Uday, like I said earlier, I definitely agree that there were certain concerns that were raised by certain farmers. But it was not as if, the entire, the kind of violence that we could see that went on to the Red Fort, that was definitely not the farmers. So that was definitely hijacked by Khalistanis. If Mr. Pant and if Mr. Kevin are actually saying that was the farmers, then I think that they are definitely completely misinformed or they're pretending to be. So, they have this kind of
the violence was not just the farmers. The violence. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Ma'am, let me tell you.
There were posts all over social media by Khalistani elements. They were posting all kinds of objectionable stuff.
Ma'am, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And these people are saying that that was not the case. So it was as if the entire farmers were not hijacking the entire thing, but there were a section who were definitely violent.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Khalistanis.
Entire protest into a wrong direction.
Yes.
And that is what was the concerning part. And they were trying to overthrow the government. There was this thing about regime change. There was this thing about regime change. If Mr. Pant and Mr. Kevin want to close their eyes to the reality, it is
let us bring things to reality.
So they are also vested interests. They want the regime change, and that is why they want to close their eyes to the reality.
Let us bring reality to
Mr.
perspective.
Narendra Modi is a democratically elected Prime Minister. He is not somebody who has been completely thrown into the picture.
MP's children's right tracks to normal protest.
He cannot be just overthrown by 50,000 people coming into Delhi border.
Why did government allow those elements to remain over there? The government should have arrested the pro-Khalistani people over there.
Okay, let's get in Savio to respond. Yes, Savio. Savio, what did the government do about these issues if there were alerts?
Mr. Pant, you've raised a very important question, and I must appreciate the question that you asked. But you see, that's the nature of the protest of certain elements. Now let's look at what happened at Shaheen Bagh. In Shaheen Bagh, you have certain ladies that had come out, some genuine, some not, and then you had them put children forward. Do you want the government, and in this case, the farmer protest that you're referring to, do you want the government who at that point of time would not be able to, in a mob, decide who is genuine and who is not genuine, take out an attack? What do you think happened in Manipur? in Manipur as well, the same problem is what persists, because you can't tell who's who from the enemy. You want to do a Mizoram over there, where the Congress government came in and actually just attacked people who are ours. Please open your eyes. You can be able to deal with the difference. In a mob,
it was very clear
you're asking the government to attack in a mob.
In Manipur, it was very clear who was taking the lead, who was leading the
Nobody here, Mr. Pant, you know nothing about Manipur. You know nothing about Manipur. Have you visited Manipur?
You also don't
Have
know
you
anything.
visited Manipur during the conflict?
Your party
Have
is
you
guilty
visited
of
Manipur during the conflict? Yes or
Your
no?
party is guilty
Have you
of
visited
stealing the
Manipur
chief
during
minister,
the conflict? Yes or
helping
no?
him out,
Have you visited
helping him
Manipur
out.
during the conflict?
Why didn't your party
Have you
or your
visited
government
Manipur
at the
during the
center?
conflict? You answer the question.
Sir,
I've
did the
visited
Prime
Manipur
Minister
3
visit
times.
Manipur? Sir,
I've
did the
met up
Prime
with
Minister
every
visit
person over
Manipur?
there.
Okay, I think we're digressing now. Okay, I think we're digressing now. I think we're digressing now. But coming back to the issue at hand, Radlakshmi Joshi,
How can you take
at the end of the day,
action
of course, the farmers are continuing their demand for an MSP. Are we, every time they raise their demand, going to color them in a certain way, or do you believe legitimate demands should be taken at face value and considered, and not all farmers' causes should be sullied in the manner that it has been?
Are you asking me the question?
Radlakshmi Joshi.
Okay.
Yes, definitely, Uday. There has to be a mature discussion with all the people, all the stakeholders. So this discussion will be with the genuine farmers. So that is the reason why this, even though, like Savya was saying, the farm laws were I would say to at least a major extent, they were definitely beneficial to the farmers. It was a revolutionary act, actually, if you look at it. So in spite of that, they rolled it back because the BJP was not able to communicate effectively what were the advantages of all these farm laws. So probably they thought that it is better to have a proper discussion. So that, I think, is the need of the day. Now the Congress is taking a very high moral stand and saying that we are going to provide MSP to all the farmers. Now these were the very people who actually rejected the idea of the MSP to the farmers when the issue had come up in 2011. So the very MSP that they had rejected at that time, today they are raising it as an issue and they are making it an agenda. So that is something that you have to look into what is financially viable, what is economical for the entire country, what will be beneficial to the farmers. So all of these factors have to be looked into very maturely, Uday, and that is exactly what the BJP and what the government is doing. So I think that the government is taking its time, but definitely at the end of the day, they will come out with something nice and concrete. So I think that, this is not something that you should be, these are sensitive matters, like I told you. So, when you talk about farmers, people get very sensitive because they call them annadatas. So you cannot take up all these issues, on a very light note and then paint them in a very bad light, just like that.
Okay.
In some.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.